Thank you guys again for joining our webinar session. I'm your host, Vanessa. And for today's session, we are going to walk through how to set up your ShipStation account. So, the topics in this session are going to be specific to an administrator on the account or the account holder, since it's going to focus on configuring your account with your store and carrier connections, as well as connecting to any other platforms that you use to maintain your company's technology stack. So it is going to be setup focused. Again, if you've already gone through and set up your account and you'd instead like to learn more about our additional features, feel free to check out our account optimization webinar, which does dive into all of the available features and how to get the most out of your ShipStation account. But before we get started, I do want to talk about what ShipStation does. So, ShipStation is a software platform where, we're a shipping platform that allows for you to manage all of your small parcel and LTL shipping needs in one place. So, we're not a shipping carrier. ShipStation is again a shipping platform where you can connect to your carriers, but we don't currently handle receiving your packages and getting them to your customers or to the final destination. So we're a shipping platform that you can create a hub for all of the different kinds of connections that you have, both on the shipping side and the selling side. So, in this session, we're going to walk through how to connect to those integrations so you can build that centralized hub where you're able to manage orders from everywhere that you sell in one place and also ship them out in one place as well. ShipStation does provide tools that can help you manage your shipping workflows and track your processes to eliminate shipping confusion or packing mistakes. You can also utilize some powerful automation in ShipStation to help minimize the manual work that you have to do. But at the most basic level, we'll be able to again connect to any stores you sell on, connect to any carriers that you ship with, or use the ShipStation rates. And you'll be able to again manage your orders in one place, get everything shipped out directly in one place without the need to jump between different platforms. So, we'll get started here talking about how to ensure that your account is set up for success. So, we'll talk about some of the foundational features and tools to ensure that you're connected to all of your integrations and ultimately feel confident enough to create your first label. For today's session, what we'll cover is setting up that account, so connecting to those stores and carriers. We'll also explore some additional settings and we'll talk about how to import your orders into ShipStation, configure the shipment, and then finally creating and printing your label. Alrighty, so for this session, we are going to do a bit of a demo here, walking through my actual test account. So we'll go ahead and get started here. On the home page, we have this guide that walks through all of the recommended steps to get started using your ShipStation account. As I mentioned previously with ShipStation, again, you can build those centralized hubs where you're not only able to manage your orders, but also ship them out in one place. Now, if you do sell on any selling channel, multiple selling channels, it's crucial to ensure that you're not having to jump between platforms, right? And so with ShipStation, we're able to again connect to any stores that you sell on. On the starter plan and above, we can connect to more than one selling channel. You can connect to an unlimited number of stores. So if you do sell on multiple platforms, you'll be able to connect all of those and manage them in one place. Now, when it comes to connecting your store, you'll see a list of integrations here. You can also use the search bar at the top to find a specific integration. So let's say I wanted to connect my Etsy store. I've used the search bar at the top, and then here's that integration tile with all of the steps needed to connect. So do just want to point out all of the steps for whichever store connection you're trying, or rather, whatever store you're trying to connect. You'll find the steps listed directly on screen. So we won't ask you to memorize anything here. Each selling channel has different connection requirements. So we saw Etsy's, it was 2 steps. Shopify is 2 steps as well, but they're different steps. And connections like Amazon have a few more steps. So just want to point this out. All of the recommended steps are going to be, or rather, all of the required steps are going to be listed directly on screen. They differ from each other. If you have any questions, you can always take a look at our Help Center for additional details. Sometimes our Help Center will have screenshots that walk through or show you where certain details live so you know what to connect. So, here, once you have your store connected, I do want to point out regarding your store, by default, when you connect that store to ShipStation, we don't send like shipping options back to your store. So, those options that you offer for shipping on your store's checkout page, we're not able to send those options back to your store by default. We do have a feature called checkout rates that can allow us to enable, sending rates from ShipStation over to your store, but connecting to your store does not mean that we will be able to send those rates. Connecting to your store just means that we'll have that back and forth communication with orders. So we'll receive orders that have came in through your store. And once you ship those orders out in ShipStation, we'll send the updated status and tracking number back to your store. But as far as those shipping options at checkout, that can be set up. Certain selling channels support that, but it doesn't happen automatically. And it's not the default feature. So, do just want to point that out. I had some merchants asking, why aren't I seeing ShipStation options on my store's checkout page? We don't have that set up by default. So just want to mention that. But regardless, on the starter plan and up, you can connect to as many selling channels as you sell on, and those will be listed here. Now, the next step here is going to be adding a ship from location. So, in order to create labels in ShipStation, you'll need to have at least one ship from location added. And so, when it comes to your ship from location, like I said, you'll need at least one. That location is going to be wherever it is that you're shipping from, either your warehouse or if you ship from home, your home address. Now, a couple things here. With the ship from location, you can create as many locations as you ship from. So if you are a large company and you have multiple locations that you ship out of, you can enter all of them. When you add your location, there's the location name field at the very top. So if you do ship from multiple locations, this can allow for you to differentiate between the two. If you add more than one ship from location, you'll be able to set which location each specific order is shipping from directly in each order. I'll show you what that looks like in just a moment. With the ship from location, the first field that you'll enter, other than location name, is going to be the full name field. Now, when you're entering the full name field or entering your ship from location, you'll notice that the full name field will probably display your actual full name or whatever name you entered when starting your trial. Your full name does not need to be displayed here. So, this information is going to display on the label. So, if you don't want your full name out there, you can always change this to shipping department. You can also enter like your company name here as well. But I do want to mention that the full name and company name fields will need to be entered. So, if you want company name here twice, you can do that or set it to shipping department. Last thing here is the phone number field. So, the phone number that's going to be listed here is what carriers may call if there's issues with delivery. So, if they're unable to maybe deliver a package, they'll call whatever number is listed here. So, if you don't want your cell phone to be called, you can enter like a company number here. With the return address field, so by default, the return address is going to be the same as your ship from address. But if you do accept returns in a different location, you can uncheck this box and then enter your ship from location. Alrighty. Once you have that, you can click save. And again, there's no limit to the number of ship from locations that you can add. Now, down here at the bottom are some additional options or settings that you may want to enable or add to your due later list. So, that due later list is going to live on your homepage. And throughout the guide here, you'll notice there's a couple different advanced options that either relate to the setting that you're enabling or will just, are additional features that you can activate in ShipStation. So here you can manage your inventory in ShipStation. So if you want to set up that warehouse, you can add it to your due later list. And we also allow for pickups to be scheduled through ShipStation. So if you want to learn how to set that up, you can add it to that due later list. Next setting here is the ShipStation carriers. So ShipStation provides immediate access to multiple carriers with our pre-negotiated preferred rates. And these discounts or our preferred rates have no volume requirements and no hidden surcharges. So however much you ship, you can have access to the ShipStation discounts. If you don't currently ship with a specific carrier, with ShipStation carriers, there's no need to manage or open up your own separate carrier accounts. We give you access directly to all of these carriers, again, with our discounted rates. So instead of having to manage those payments for each separate postal account, you can have just one central location, one balance where you're able to manage both the carriers that you're shipping with and your stores. To activate the ShipStation carriers, you'll need to set up a payment method. So, with the ShipStation carriers, we charge for the labels upfront, basically, to what we call your ShipStation balance. So, setting up your payment here will create that balance. You can add as many funds as you'd like to that balance. And then from that balance, we will deduct as you create your labels or schedule pickups or add insurance. The funds that you add to that balance will remain there until, again, labels are created, insurance is added, and so on. And so you'll be able to, once you activate this carrier, you'll be able to purchase ShipStation labels using the funds in your balance. So whether you're shipping across town or internationally, the ShipStation carrier options has a service available for you that you get immediate access to. Alrighty. And then, like I said, with that international shipping. Now, also, I guess I should mention here so, with the international shipping, you automatically get access to global post. So, each carrier has some international shipping services, but global post has, some of the most competitive rates for international shipping. The other great thing about Global Post is they offer digital customs forms. So instead of having to print out those customs forms, those are submitted electronically for you. And also through Global Post, we do have some additional discounts there, up to 80% off of retail rates. And then additionally, with the ShipStation carriers, this also gives you access to Parcel Guard, which is a shipping insurance provider that's available to all US-based ShipStation accounts. And Parcel Guard offers a easy and affordable way to protect your shipments from loss, damage, or theft. And it is about 70% lower or cheaper over traditional carrier insurances. So, Parcel Guard and Global Post will be available to you when you activate the ShipStation carriers. Now, you can also add your own carrier accounts. Again, you'll need to be on either the standard or premium plans, but I'll show you how you can connect to your carriers in just a moment. I'll go ahead and skip that here. Now, we have this additional feature called Rate Shopper. So, what the Rate Shopper feature does is it helps to do a lot of the hard work for you when it comes to finding the lowest shipping service for an order. So with this feature, you won't need to sort through your services to find the cheapest option. Instead, the system is set up to find that lowest shipping service for your orders automatically the moment that the order imports into ShipStation. So here we ask you, how do you want for the system to find the cheapest service? Do you want it to find the best value, which is the lowest cost option that arrives within 4 days, cheapest, which would be cheapest overall, or fastest, which would be the lowest cost service that'll arrive within 1 day? So, whichever option you choose here, ShipStation is going to find the lowest cost service and then apply it to your order. So, again, saving you that time having to browse for rates and ensuring that the moment an order imports, that lowest service is automatically selected for you. So we have seen our customers save about 4% per label by using this feature. And this feature is going to be included on a free trial. So if you just started your ShipStation trial, you'll be able to test this feature out. And if you do enjoy it, you'll be able to also have a customizable version and continue to access it on our standard and premium plans. So instead of just choosing these three, you can build your own options. So that can be comparing different services that are going to get there within a specific time, or maybe just comparing different economy services that you choose. So that's our rate shopper feature. Again, on our free trial, you'll be able to access it. And if you do enjoy it, our standard and premium plans will continue to have those. Okay, continuing on here, inventory. So, if you do sell on multiple selling channels, ensuring that you have product stock accuracy becomes incredibly important. And ShipStation's inventory solutions can be a really great help. With ShipStation, you're able to set your inventory counts in the same place where you ship your orders out. So, tracking stock in ShipStation ensures that those stock counts are deducted as you ship your orders. Also, that you know exactly how much of a product you have before you even create the label. And ShipStation also has settings where it can prevent or warn you and completely block a shipment from being created if you don't have enough stock. So, if you have multiple people on your team and you want to ensure that only in stock orders get shipped out, tracking that stock in ShipStation can allow for those alerts to be made. And then, speaking of alerts, you can also set thresholds to trigger an alert when stock gets too low. So that'll ensure that it alerts you when it's time to reorder a certain product and also helps you to prevent stockouts. So, ensuring that you have all of your items in stock. Here, you can let us know how you currently manage your stock, or if you don't manage your stock, you can always think about adding that inventory to ShipStation. Also, if you sell on selling channels like Shopify or Amazon, let's say, you can send inventory from ShipStation over to your selling channels. Now, not every selling channel supports this feature. If you are curious about this feature, it's called Inventory Sync. I won't talk about it today. It's available on the standard and premium plans, but what the feature allows for is sending stock from ShipStation over to your stores. So, ensuring that all stores have accurate stock. Last setting here is our return. So, ShipStation offers several return options to help you manage your returns efficiently. So, whether you prefer creating manual return labels or you want to offer like a self service returns portal with a branded experience, you have these options available to you. So the question is, do you offer returns? If you say yes, you'll be able to see how you can initiate the returns options. So again, these options give you flexibility to choose the return process that best fits your business needs. Now, when it comes to returns, this can sometimes be overlooked, but it can really be a competitive point for you. And when customers do have a smooth returns process, they're actually more likely to buy from you again. So if you haven't set up your returns or are unsure about returns, we have different webinars that talk a bit more about returns. There is one live, it's called Unwrapping Returns. So feel free to check that one out. Do want to mention here if you sell on Shopify, we do have a Shopify specific returns feature which allows for exchanges as well. So that feature allows for you to offer that branded like self-service return experience for your customers. But instead of just offering returns, you can also encourage exchanges or store credit. So that feature again is available for Shopify only at this time. There will be more selling channels coming soon. If you want to take a look at what that feature looks like, you can find that in our help center. We do also have a webinar for that returns and exchanges feature as well. So, with all of that being said, these are all of the available features that you have access to. Not all of them need to be set up. Really, all that's required when setting up your account is letting us know where you ship from, where you're selling, and connecting to your carriers. Now, we got some additional advanced options here. These, again, can all be set up at a later time, adding it to your due later list. And we actually covered these features in the account optimization webinar. So if you do want to learn a bit more about these advanced options, feel free to check out our account optimization session. Alrighty, so I'm closing out of here. Now that we've completed the guide, here on the homepage, you'll always be able to access the homepage here. At the top of the homepage, we have a rate browser. So this will allow for you, if you just want to know how much it costs to ship to a specific location, you can enter the ship from zip code. That would be your zip code, the ship to, what kind of package you want to ship in, and then the weight, and then get a rate for that shipment. And then further down here is our to-do list. So those items that we mark to do later, they're going to be displayed right here. So whenever you have some free time, you can always enable that setting by clicking on that link and then being sent over to that setting page. Lastly, here at the very bottom is our additional ShipStation features. So if you want to learn how to automate your rate shopping, for instance, you can click on this and you'll get an additional blurb here with links to our help articles to learn more about it and learn how to set it up. Now, before we continue with our order creation and creating the label, we do have a couple more settings that we need to modify. So we're going to head over to the gear icon here at the top right. That's going to take us to our settings page. Now, all of the settings that we activated in that guide are also going to be accessible here. So this settings page is where you'll be able to access all of your account settings, add additional stores, add your carriers, and so on. So this is the settings page. First thing I'm going to do is walk through how you can connect to your own carrier account. So if you are on the standard and premium plan, or if you're still on a trial, but you do have your own carrier account that you want to connect, just be sure to subscribe to that standard or premium plan. To connect a carrier, you'll head over to the shipping tab on the left, head to carriers, and then here you'll click on the Your Carrier Accounts tab. It's just above this purple bar. And you'll be able to add a carrier. So from here, you'll be able to see our list of carriers. If you want to find a specific one, you can use the search bar here at the top to locate your carrier. And very similarly to connecting a store, you'll see all of the steps needed here to connect to that carrier directly on screen. Additionally, you can also check out our Help Center to see what's needed to connect. And similarly, with connecting to multiple stores, if you ship with multiple carriers, you can connect all of those to ShipStation by just clicking Add Carrier again. Otherwise, the ShipStation carriers are also listed here. These are available for all of our plans, And once you've activated our carriers, you can also add funds to your balance on this page too. Okay, next setting is going to be selecting your label format. So, how are those how should those labels be printed out? So this is going to vary based on the kind of printer that you have. To set up your printing settings, you'll head to Printing and Printing Setup here, and then click the Document Options link here. So here we'll need to choose how your labels and packing slips should be printed out of ShipStation. So again, based on the printer that you have, either label printer, so 4x6, or 8.5x11 for a traditional printer, here's where you can tell ShipStation how those labels should be printed. Both the 4x6 and the 8.5x11 have the option to print just the label or label with the packing slip, and this would be for every order. So, depending on whether you use packing slips internally for packing or you actually add them to your shipment, you can decide if you do want just the labels or labels with the packing slip. And if you do print out your packing slips, let's say through another kind of printer, so let's say you have a label printer, but you only use that for labels and you use a traditional printer for your packing slips, you can set it up that way as well. So let's say here I have my label printer. This is just going to print out the label. So I'm going to set it here, click Save Settings, choose the document options next to packing slip. And then here, just be sure that the packing slip format is set to 8.5x11, either 2 per page or the full page. This is also where you can go to customize your packing slip. So here, if you want to show your logo, for instance, you can enable this, show item prices, and so on. Again, all of these settings are going to modify the packing slip on the account. So if you ship out of different stores, for instance, the packing slip settings are going to be set for all stores in ShipStation. And now we'll go ahead and talk about managing your orders and then creating the labels for them. So that's really all of the settings that are required in ShipStation. So I'm going to head over to the orders page. So here at the very top in that dark green bar, we'll head to our orders page. Now, when it comes to orders that are connected to a store, so if you connected to Etsy or Shopify, uh, those orders should import into ShipStation automatically. By default, we have the system automatically import orders throughout the day with a minimum of 2 hours between each import. So if you have, again, your Shopify store connected and you haven't seen an order importing in a while, you can always click on the order refresh icon. So that's this circle with an arrow icon here at the top right next to the printer icon. This is the order refresh icon. So what this will do is it will manually import new orders over to ShipStation. So again, the system is set up to automatically import orders throughout the day. But if you haven't seen an order come in, just give this button a click and that'll import any new orders over to ShipStation. Also, this is where you can go if you ever see an error. You'll notice an error if there's like an exclamation mark here next to this. If there's ever an error here, giving this button a click will usually resolve that error. But if there is additional issues, you can always reach out to our support team. Alrighty, so now once our orders are in ShipStation, here's where you can go to manage them. The order grid here, this section right in the middle, is going to show you the details of the order, right? So as orders import, you'll see the order number here, and then these additional columns will show additional details. Now, I do want to talk about the statuses as well. So on the left-hand side, these are all different order statuses. So these statuses, they might not look exactly the same as the status in your store. So if you're curious what statuses translate to in ShipStation, take a look at our Help Center. Every store integration has its own article, and those articles will show, what means what. But regardless, with awaiting shipment, these are orders that are ready to ship, right? These orders have typically been paid for already and they're just waiting to be shipped. There's other statuses that orders can import into, like awaiting payment or on hold, or shipped as well. If there's ever an order in any of these top three statuses, you're going to see a number next to that status. So that'll let you know there's an order there. Again, if you do have any questions on what a status translates to, take a look at our Help Center. Also, here on the top left, we have a search bar. So if you ever need to find a specific order number or you're looking for like a customer's order, you can use the search bar here at the top to locate those specific orders. Once you're ready to create a label for an order, you can go ahead and click on the order number link, and that's going to open up the order details page. So here on the order details page, it's going to look the same for every order, whether the order was created directly in ShipStation or imported from a store. When you open it up in ShipStation, it'll have this same layout. So the shipment details here at the top are going to show you the customer's like address details and any costs associated with the order. Further down, you're going to see the items in the order. So what did the customer place? Here I am tracking my stock in ShipStation. So here I'm able to see the stock column and it shows me exactly how much I have. Further down, we have a notes section. So notes can either import from your store or they can be left here manually. So if you do have multiple people on your team or in ShipStation, and you want to relay information to them, you can use this internal note field, for instance, to let them know what needs to be done with this specific order. Any notes that you add to an order will display directly in this order details page. It will also display on the notes column. So the notes column right here has these little icons, and you can hover over an active note to see what it looks like. So you don't necessarily need to open up the whole order. Under notes, we have customer communication. So, like I said, you can create your own customized packing slips if you want to add QR codes or different messages. And if you do create those custom packing slips, you can choose which packing slip you want to use per order here. And then lastly, the shipment activity. This is going to show you what occurred on the order when it imported into ShipStation. It'll also show you if any manual changes were made on the order. So again, if you have multiple people on your team and you want to track what folks are doing, you can take a look at that shipment activity. Now, once we're ready to create the label, we'll use the Configure Shipment section here on the right. So starting at the top, the Ship From location, I only have one, but I mentioned you can add as many locations as you ship from. If you have more than one location, you'll see a drop-down menu here, and you can choose which location this order should ship from there. Next, we have the weight. So the weight is going to import from your store with that total order weight. Now, you can always adjust the weight manually here to take into account the additional weight of the package you're shipping in or to make adjustments as needed. So you can use these arrows or you can type in with your keyboard here. Now, we do also support reading a weight from your scale, but you'll need to have that ShipStation Connect app installed. But yeah, if you do have a scale, you'll want to be sure you have ShipStation Connect installed so we can register or read that scale weight. Next, we have a service dropdown. So in the service dropdown, the first thing you'll notice is those rate shopper options. So again, if you want to just have the system find the cheapest service for you, you can go ahead and select that. You will need to choose a package, so we'll just do standard package. And now the system is going and trying to find that cheapest service, and it's applying it to this order here. So at the very bottom, I can hover over the service section, and I see USPS Ground Advantage was selected, and the rate. Now I'm also seeing the estimated arrival here, so it'll get there within 3 days. If I want something to get there faster, you can go ahead and choose fastest. Alternatively, here, you can also go ahead and choose a specific service. So if you have your own carrier connected or you always want to ship with, let's say, Ground Saver, you can go ahead and choose that service there specifically. So that's the service. Again, what shipping service do you want to use to ship that order? Below that, we have the package drop down menu. So once you choose a specific service, you'll also see those carriers or that carrier's specific packaging. So if you use UPS boxes, let's say, you can go ahead and choose which box you're shipping in here. Otherwise, package is standard package, really. Next, you have the dimensions. So we always recommend entering dimensions. So, what is the actual size of the box that you're shipping in? A lot of carriers will charge dimensional weight. So, they take into account the size of the box along with the weight to charge you for shipping. So, you want to ensure that you have dimensions entered here. You can measure your box and then enter those dimensions here as you're shipping. You can also create customized package types. So if you tend to ship your orders in the same size boxes every time, you can save those dimensions instead of entering them here every time. I'll quickly show you guys how to do that once we're done with this page. But yes, definitely enter your dimensions here to ensure that you get the most accurate rate from the carrier. Now, last couple things here, confirmation. If you need a signature, for instance, you can go ahead and set a confirmation type there. And then lastly, insurance. So other than Parcel Guard, if you have your own carrier connected, you can also purchase additional carrier insurance. Again, Parcel Guard is a pretty affordable insurance that'll protect your shipments against loss, damage, or theft. So feel free to add additional insurance through Parcel Guard. Every carrier is going to have a default insurance coverage. So it's usually $100 per shipment. But if you need any more than that, you can always use an insurance provider here. Now, once you see the rate at the very bottom, that's basically the green light to go ahead and create and print your label. Now, I do want to mention one last thing. So, other than clicking through each service to see the rate, and also other than using Rate Shopper, you can also click on the Browse Rates button here. And that is going to pull up all of the available services that can ship this order, along with the estimated delivery time and the rate. So, this is another way that you can quickly see all of the available service options and how much they charge for shipping for this specific order. So, again, this is a per order button that you can use, but again, it will allow for you to find that cheapest service. Now, once you create and print your label, from here, you can either download the label as a PDF and then send it to your printer outside of ShipStation. If you had ShipStation Connect installed, you can select your printer directly from this list here and send your label to that printer. Or you'll also notice there's this printer icon right here. Excuse me, in the print preview section. So you can click print and then choose your printer destination here. So that's how you'd print labels out. Now, I'm going to quickly talk to you guys about how you can view your labels after you've created them. So once this label is created, the order is going to move over to the shipments page. So the shipments page here at the very top is where you'll be able to see your labels that you've created. So if you are running a print job and you run out of paper or ink and you need to reprint that label, head to the shipments page, locate the order, and then click on the print drop down here to reprint those labels. If you're not able to print a label right when you create it, you don't need to recreate the label. You'll just need to head to the shipments page and then reprint here. Also on the shipments page, you'll see different columns here on the shipments page One of those columns is the tracking number column, and it's hyperlinked, so it'll take you directly to that carrier's tracking page. So if you have customers reaching out to you asking where their shipment is, you can head to the shipments page, locate their order, and take a look at the tracking. Also, on the left hand side, you have tracking statuses. So this can quickly show you all orders in transit versus delivered and so on. All right. Last thing before we open it up to questions is actually, I have two last things. First, creating your custom packages. So, if you have commonly used boxes that you use to ship your orders in and you want to just save those dimensions, head to the settings page, shipping on the left, and packages. From here, click on custom, and then you can add your custom packages. The name, if you have internal names for your packaging, you can set that here. Otherwise, I recommend setting it to the actual dimension sizes, makes it a bit easier when locating the packages. And then you enter your dimensions, click save. And then as you're creating your shipments, that package will be displayed right here. So instead of using just standard package and entering those dimensions manually, you can select your custom package. Now, if you see right here, my sizes are 888 right now, but once I click on the custom package, they change to that custom package dimension size. So that's already entered for me. Again, saving you that time having to enter those manually. And also it ensures that your dimensions are entered for all of your shipments. Now, before we open it up to Q&A, I do want to mention that every plan has access to support, whether that is email support, chat support, or phone support. If you do want phone support, that's available on the standard and premium plans. I believe the starter plan has access to email and chat, but regardless, your available support options will be displayed in this question mark icon at the top right. So the question mark icon will show you your available support options. It will also link you to our help center. So that help center will have articles that talk about really everything that ShipStation has to offer. So you can learn a bit more about different features or different integrations there. But with all of that, you should now feel, confident enough to start walking through at least setting up your ShipStation account, getting your stores connected and carriers connected. And hopefully after today's session, you do feel confident enough to maybe create your first label. So thank you guys again for joining our webinar session today. Again, hope you guys feel confident enough to activate your ShipStation account and hopefully get some labels created. Thank you guys again. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day.